What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Fire Emblem Friday. Today we're continuing our Birthright randomizer playthrough from last week. We didn't get very far, largely because of how long it took to get through the first few levels. But from here on out, it should be faster, and I'm hoping to get through to at least Chapter 6 in this episode. There was a comment on last week's video to just not read every line of dialogue, so I'll mostly be skipping through them, so that way we can just get to the actual gameplay, which is the main thing of interest for a randomized run. So let's just get right back into it. Now, I did restart and change the name to Corrin for our player character, just because that's honestly easier for me to remember. So that way when I go to read any of the dialogue options, it'll just be faster, hopefully. So yeah. And sorry again about the video quality. It's been finals week, so I haven't had the chance to explore the opportunity to I haven't had the opportunity to explore the potential other options for recording my system, and my capture card has still not arrived, which is unfortunate. Hopefully it'll be here by next week's episode, but you never know. So, to explain what's going on, basically Garen wants Corrin to execute all of the prisoners, including some of the main characters, but, of course, Corrin being Corrin, does not want to. So he stands up to Garen, which makes him very angry, and has Xander do it in his place. So, basically, what we're going to see here is exactly why we definitely need to level up a lot, because if we don't, then this will happen. So that was basically us trying to fight Xander, and him really destroying us. Like, Xander could probably kill us here in this scene if he actually tried to. But of course, this is before we'll eventually turn on them, so that won't happen. And so Leo here steps in to kill the prisoners. Kill in air quotes, but we'll see that in just a moment. And so, basically, Garen is still furious, walks off, and says, "Good riddance." And so, Corrin confronts Leo, who, of course, is all like, "No, they're not really dead, don't worry about it, we just need to be quiet about it, and everything will go fine." So then, basically, they just saved Felicia and Caden, that's his name. Their lives for us to run into later on. Oh, and I realized that I never actually explained why I did normal casual in my last video for this series. Unless, of course, I did. I'm nearly certain I didn't. So, the reason I'm doing normal casual is because the randomizer is not perfect and has a few bugs. And so playing on any difficulty higher will result in... or playing on Lunatic and I think maybe hard mode will cause game crashes. Well, that and Lunatic is absolutely absurd, and I don't care to face what it's like with completely randomized characters. Because basically Lunatic, because you don't get very many characters to start off with, and you don't get much to go off of, by starting with... Lunatic's first few chapters are brutal. It gets better after that, unless you're playing Conquest, in which case, if you're playing Lunatic Conquest, you are Lunatic. Unless, of course, you're a lot better at Fire Emblem than I am, and can actually handle that sort of difficulty, but Conquest was difficult enough on hard mode, and actually challenging on normal, which is unusual. We probably won't have that many problems doing a normal casual Birthright run, but if we were to do hard mode Conquest, things would be a lot more difficult. Conquest basically has no mercy. Oh, and you might notice that our playtime is a lot lower. That's because when I was going through to reset the file with a different name, I went through the prologue and first chapter and the earlier chapters a lot faster, just because I'm not talking about it, I'm not explaining everything I'm doing. So yeah. At this point, Elise and Corin have basically gone to Garen to apologize for Corin turning on Garen's orders. Garen is basically interrupted by this, but he lets them come in anyway. We kind of see here that he wasn't actually talking to anyone visible in this sweeping shot here. I could go into details as to why he could have potentially been talking to no one. And if I do a Revelations playthrough eventually, that'll mostly explain it. But I would prefer to not spoil the other routes for someone who is just here to see that. Basically, Garen's not who he seems. Nothing of the royalty is as it appears for much of this game, including Birthright's royalty, but that's a spoiler that's slightly harder to find, I think. So now Garen is basically sending us out on a mission in order to atone for crossing him, which will probably not be too difficult. It depends on how the game's internal RNG treats us for the difficulty for this coming chapter. Just because if we play it right, the game gives us an allied character that can be pretty useful, but depending on the game's RNG, that character's usefulness may vary. I'm not expecting it to be very useful, because normally he just goes in and gets himself killed immediately. So I'm expecting him to be almost useless, but I suppose we'll find out. So now basically all of the Norian royal siblings are like, oh, we'll go with you, we'll take care of this mission with ease. And then Iago, who is one of Garen's advisors and an all-around jerk pretty much, we'll see more of him later in the game, but at the moment it suffices to say that he will be one of our main antagonists. I think we fight him... Geez, I don't even remember what chapter it is. I know we fight him at one point earlier in the game, and I think we fight him again near endgame. Well, I don't really think earlier. Maybe like chapter 15? I don't remember my Birthright chapters as well as I do Revelations. Perhaps they're just less memorable, or it might be because I've played more Revelations than I have Birthright. Just because I personally like having all the characters and find the story more interesting. But that's just my opinion. So basically, Iago is here being a jerk, telling us that we can't take any of our overpowered siblings with us, and we have to do this with just our advisor and Hans, who we will also fight a lot. I think twice we fight him, and he is just an overall jerk. Like, in Conquest, you don't fight him until basically just before endgame, but in Birthright, we'll fight him once in, I want to say it's chapter 10 or 12. And a second time in... No, I think it's chapter 13 in Birthright. The Shev level. But we'll get to that later. So, basically, we're going to fight him. He's not nice, and we'll see a lot more of that in a few moments. And Xander is just going to warn us that he was once a criminal that he had himself arrested. And Garen claims to have been reformed, which is not... Well, I guess it kind of depends on whose perspective you're talking about as to whether or not Hans is reformed. Because in a sense he kind of is, because he's being loyal to the crown. But the crown is Garen, which means we're in for fun. And by fun, I mean massacre. I see. So basically this is the bottomless canyon. If you fall through, you are theoretically dead forever, but we'll get into that if we ever go back and do a Revelations playthrough. I might. I guess it depends on how much progress I make on this before I get to before Shadows of Valentia comes out. Because once that comes out, I want that to be my main playthrough. So basically, there's a bunch of Hoshiden forces that are here that we weren't told would be here. And Hans, of course, being the total jerk he is, runs in and kills one immediately, meaning that any potential negotiation is now ruined. So basically, it's now time for us to fight off an entire Hoshiden encampment.
Why? What was that?
So yeah, basically, Hans was ordered by Garen to cause this little spat here. It won't likely be too difficult, but there are a few moments here that become challenging. And so Gunther's just going to tell us about support formations. I won't read it because it's not really that interesting, but I will let it show just so that we've got a bit of explanation for you guys in the audience if you don't know how the mechanics work. So the main goal here is to give Corrin all of the EXP. That's pretty much our goal. Let Corrin kill as many things as possible and beat the level. That's what this chapter is for. And of course, because at the moment we've got a bonus from being paired up with Gunther, and we've got Ganglari, which is a pretty powerful weapon to begin with. Although I think this version is not as strong, just because it's not meant to make you completely broken, just very powerful. Well, okay, it is pretty broken, but not as bad as it could be. But the point is, by sending Corrin in this way, we'll get a lot of EXP, because Corrin is one of our most reliable characters. He's just about the only character in this entire playthrough who isn't going to be totally random. And so now Gunther's just warning us that going this way is probably going to be suicide. Wait, who can move to attack us from here? Oh, that's right, the archer can come through. Oh, hey, so what if I, instead of just running, what if I have us move in here like this, so that way oh, the archer didn't move to attack. Okay, that's fine. So this is where the RNG comes into play, because if Hans hits on this attack, we should be able to follow up and kill this samurai and make this formation a lot easier to deal with. But I'm not expecting him to hit this attack because, just to scroll up for a second here, sorry, I don't have any high-tech stuff at the moment. He only has a 22% chance of hitting this attack, so it's highly unlikely that he'll hit. But if he does, it means we can benefit from going in this direction. Yep, there's the miss. And this samurai is guaranteed to... Oh, he's not dead yet. Okay. But he will get attacked next turn and killed, so it's probably best if we just run for now and start going the other route so that we can complete this chapter sooner. So yeah, the samurai's going to attack Hans. Now there's actually a 0% chance for him to hit, and of course the damage dealt is sufficient to kill Hans in one strike, so... Now if you wanted, you could actually avoid that formation entirely and just trigger the second Dragon Vein, this one here, so that you can cross and attack the boss. But we actually want to fight this group up here because that's a lot of EXP for Corrin. And as I mentioned, our main purpose of this run at the moment is to get all of the EXP for Corrin. Well, not this run, this chapter. We want to give Corrin as much EXP as possible so that he'll be stronger later. And so that we can invest more of the chapters once we actually branch into a different route onto our other characters. But for now, let's just have, what's her name?
Let's go.
Oh, Scarlet can actually kill this archer. I didn't realize she would.
Sorry.
That strength is probably helpful, because Scarlet will be useful eventually. We just need the ability to use something other than a Kodachi, because her magic is a lot better than her strength is right now. So once she gets the ability to use magic, or, like, we get the ability to get a tome and then equip it for her, she'll be a lot better, because then she can fight a lot more varied enemies. So we're just going to mark these two so that we can see their danger area, and I think we're going to have, wait, what's Corrin's movement range? Yeah, that's fine. So let's have Scarlet attack here. She won't die from the retaliation. so we can get a chunk of this archer's health down. Oh, and they even missed one of their attacks on a 93% chance. That's actually really triggering for the AI. But it is an AI, so it doesn't have the ability to get triggered. So we're just going to have Corrin move in here, kill this archer pretty easily. We will probably get shot by the archer that the samurai in the fortress is supported by. But then we can move in and attack the archer in close quarters. So overall, this is a good play, I think. Ooh, but that archer hits hard. But he missed, yes! Okay, so we are actually getting lucky here. Ooh, but what if I go... Okay, if that deals 7 damage, how does this do? 14. 7, 14, 21 is... Ooh, let's try that. Okay, it's a 67% chance. Come on, game, come on. Come on, give me some luck. Ah, darn it. That's bad. So now, Scarlet's gonna get shot by this archer and maybe attacked by the samurai, meaning we might be doomed. Or we can... Oh, no, we can make it so that Scarlet will survive by killing off this archer now. I was hoping to kill the other archer immediately so we wouldn't have to worry about it. Or, I was hoping to kill the archer in the fort immediately so that we'd have less to deal with. But unfortunately, we missed and couldn't do so, so... Oh well. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, this makes it a very good thing that we took out that archer while we could. Oh my god, Scarlet. I think I might just have to bench you immediately. But then that was kind of implied. Ah, great. And now you can't even... and I don't have any vulneraries. This isn't good. Okay. I think we just have to have Scarlet run here. Maybe have... because if we attack... Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's have Corrin wait here so that when the samurai attacks us, they'll give us a point in our shield gauge without gaining a point in theirs, and then we'll consume their shield gauge and not deal any damage, but we'll be able to attack them next turn and have the advantage because then their shield gauge will be completely depleted. We are, however, going to take a decent chunk of damage. This is not an ideal scenario at all. Okay, so let's have Corrin with a now-filled shield gauge move in. Oh, what if we do this? Oh, I don't like those odds, though, and that archer, all it has to do is hit us. Nope, we're not going to do that, then. Okay, so... If I do this... That's 2... Yeah, let's just do it. I think if our RNG doesn't hate us, we'll be fine. Okay, so there's the first hit. Now we just have to hit them on our next turn. Because it's almost guaranteed we're not going to hit them on their turn. But if we do, hey, that's awesome. So they're going to get some health back because they're standing in a fort. 45% chance. I doubt we're going to hit it. But we won't die to their attack if we don't. Oh, we hit it! Nice! So now because that samurai is dead... We can use our next turn killing the archer, and then use the fort that they were in to heal up our units, because they've taken a lot of damage.
Yes.
Ooh, and we got a decent growth, too. That's good. Good growths are valuable at the moment, because that's pretty much what we're hoping for here. Alright, so let's have Scarlet move in, try to get... Oh my god. Maybe I'll just title this episode, Scarlet Misses Everything. No, that's a terrible title. I don't know what I'll call this video, but, I have to make some reference to Scarlet's utter uselessness at the moment. Scarlet has not done anything useful this episode, besides sit there and take hits unnecessarily. Okay, so now I'm unfortunately just gonna have to end my turn a few times to let Scarlet heal up at the fort. Nothing really interesting, and in fact I might actually cut this out of the final video. You know what, yeah, I'm gonna cut the video here, because it's pointless to just have me rambling on while I'm having my units heal up. So I'll cut the video and be back in just a moment once all our units are healed. Okay, so all our units are back up to full health. So now we're gonna go... Hang on, which way would be faster? Screw it. I always go this way, so I just will because it's the way I know. So now we're gonna go back down, trigger the other Dragon Vein, go across that way, and hopefully feed Corrin as much additional EXP as possible. So, this chapter is a lot worse without a healer, which is one thing that, which is reason that it's good that the game randomized, or that the regular game gives you a healer from Chapter 2, whereas our randomized run does not. Oh, that's right. Scarlet did do something. She stole EXP from us. Come on, Scarlet. That's supposed to be our EXP.
Hey, thanks.
Jeez. Well, at least Scarlet gets a level which will get her skill that gets her even more EXP. That's not actually what I want, because I'm not planning to give her EXP anytime soon. But it'll make her more useful for when we get back to it later. Okay, so now let's have Corrin pick up this kill on the archer. We did take some damage from their attacks, but it's not significant enough to waste more time on the forts healing up. So let's just push on in. I'm not going to enter the boss's range, though, because once you do, Pegasus Knights spawn. Or maybe it's after you pull this samurai, I don't know. The point is, I know we're about to get attacked by some Pegasus Knights that'll spawn in the fortresses on the other side of the map. So yeah, this samurai's just going to attack us, Corrin's going to take no damage, and one-shot them, which is good. We want Corrin to be this powerful so that we've got someone to rely on when we need it. So now we're up to level 7, which is going really well, and is great because we'll probably give some of our EXP in the next chapter to other units. Yep, here's the Pegasus Knights. So it's once you bring the, that samurai in to attack you. Here, hang on, let me try to fix this focus. There we go. So let's have Scarlet try to let us get some damage on this boss here, so that we can kill the boss, get it over with, and then deal with the Pegasus Knights. Alright, we have 1 out of 2 60% chances, that's fine. So now we can have Corrin go in, and barely not do enough damage to get the kill. Of course. But we won't get a stat debuff because we'll block the attack that would debuff us. Like this. So, the shurikens and hidden weapons in this game have an interesting effect in that they weaken the stats of any unit hit by an attack from them, whether it deals damage or not. But because in that instance it was guarded, we didn't actually take the status debuff. But of course we give the EXP to Scarlet because the AI wants to feed Scarlet everything, despite my attempts to give Corrin all the EXP. But at least Scarlet's almost up to the next level, which will give her Dragon Fang, which is a very good skill to have. Even if I'm not planning to use her all that much. Although once she gets access to magic, it'll be a lot better. And she might be a good debuff unit, because at level 5, she'll pick up Draconic Hex, which, after any round of combat, whether it hits or not, or whether the unit's attacks hit or not, the attacking or just enemy that had the combat round with them gets -4 to all stats, except HP, because that would be OP. Alright, so it looks like we're about to get Dragon Fang because the game wants to feed Scarlet. But hey, having a higher level character to begin with will be useful once we get her back. Because we're about to lose access to every character we've been using right now, which is why I've been trying to give Corrin as much EXP as possible. So let's keep going then. Yep, Scarlet gets Dragon Fang, which is great, because Dragon Fang is a really strong skill. It's 75%, or skill stat times 0.75 is its trigger rate, and when it activates, the attack deals half of its base attack, which is before any defenses are applied, as bonus damage that doesn't suffer from mitigation from the opponent's damage, or defenses, which means it's a reliable way to deal a large chunk of damage. Well, okay. Reliable in that it avoids defense, unreliable in that its trigger rate is kind of low. But all the enemies are dead, we're at the building, so let's just seize it, win the level. 31 turns, yeah. I think the highest turn count I've ever had is 100-something on a lunatic playthrough when I was doing Chapter 5, which we'll hopefully see in not too long. So basically, wait, is that... Oh, that's right, Robin is Saizo. So now, I guess you could say this is a lot more like, him as Grima, but just saying that is already spoilers. Sorry, but whatever. So basically, Robin's here to try to kill us. He moves into attack,
I won't allow it.
and Xander comes in and Deus Ex Machinas us to save our lives.
Just,
And of course, all our other siblings are here as well, so with all of our siblings here to fight the Hoshidans that are trying to attack us, basically get wrecked, as we see with Camilla one-shotting, with crits apparently, all the units around them. So Robin,
You're too kind.
Reina is acting as Kagero? Okay then. So now they basically realize they're outnumbered, so they're going to retreat and report to their lords about what happened. But for now, we supposedly win, and we'll see why supposedly in just a moment. Because then this happens. Not the black screen, this.
oh,
So basically, Scarlet is gone for reasons the game doesn't actually explain it. And look who's back.
don't worry. You won't have to stand there much longer. Huh?
Okay, I think I will read this part because it's a bit of a big story moment. Hans,
What?
what is the meaning of this? Less talk, more death. So basically, Hans just knocked Gunther into the bottomless canyon. Hans, no! Why are you doing this? Your own ally. Aw, did I knock your babysitter into the ditch? Here, you can meet up with him at the bottom. And of course, Corin basically goes crazy at this. We'll get more of that shortly. You'll pay for this! What? What kind of freak are you? So Hans has never seen any of this before, nor has anyone else, including the player, although, I've played this so many times by now that I actually skipped this cutscene because I already know what happens. I want answers, Hans! What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why did you provoke the Hoshidans? And why did you kill Gunther? More or less. More on that if we ever come back to do a Conquest or, Revelations run. By the way, leave a comment if you want me to, make one of those my next series, or maybe just an additional series alongside it. Because with all 3 routes, I can have up to 9 save files, so I can do more, playthroughs if you guys want. We can do a Revelations playthrough, which I might actually bump up to Lunatic, just because, that way it's a lot more interesting, but I would have to cut out a large portion of Chapter 5. I'll explain that if we actually do wind up doing that. Or I could do Conquest, which I probably would do hard mode, if not normal, just because Conquest is stupidly difficult to begin with. Well, okay, normal difficulty isn't too bad. Hard is brutal. Lunatic, I've never tried it myself, because I doubt I would get past Chapter 7. Answer me!
I was
Just following orders. King Garen's orders.
What was that?
What? You lie! And of course, Hans runs away. So, Hans is actually not lying at all. Oh, I almost forgot this part happens. So then our sword decides to send us into the abyss as well. And look who shows up. Not the black screen again, sorry. Gotta say that falling model is not as good as I thought it would be. Maybe Shadowless of Valentia will have better models. Judging by the gameplay they showed on the Fire Emblem Direct, I want to say it was on the 18th, although I don't remember exactly. The models and animations are a lot more fluid, but it also is still for the 3DS, which is starting to get pushed to its limits by some softwares. So we'll see what happens with that. It's still a ways out, so there's more time to see that.
Dragons, grant me strength.
So basically, Lilith is actually a space dragon. Well, technically astral dragon, but space dragon, astral dragon is kind of the same thing at the moment. So they save us. I think they warp us off to a different realm at the moment. So basically, Lilith was the little bird that was mentioned earlier in our first part. I think I might have actually skipped past that cutscene, I don't recall. But yeah, so Lilith was the little bird that Corin saved. which is convenient because Lilith and Corrin actually have a much deeper connection that I will not explain here because it's spoilers. Extreme spoilers, actually. So yeah. If we eventually, once we get a lot stronger and go back to do the Hidden Truths DLC, well, okay, we can kind of do that whenever, but whatever. Eventually we'll go through and do the Hidden Truths DLC, which will show us a bit more of what's going on here, and give us some insight on some characters that we haven't seen much of yet, and we won't see any of yet, because this is Birthright, not Conquest or Revelations, so we don't actually get to meet the other characters that have been fleshed out by that cutscene. Kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? So basically, Lilith warps you off to a magical castle where nothing matters in the real world. You can spend literally hours sitting at the castle screens and jump right back into a chapter, and the storyline hasn't changed at all. Kind of a writing flaw, actually. They really should have tried to make it a bit more reasonable. I mean, Awakening, you could sit at the world map as long as you felt like, but at least it had the feel of you moving around, interacting with the world as you traveled around it from chapter to chapter. Although it was a bit annoying scrolling through all of the different places, just running around because of the map layout. So if you went back to go to a secret shop that opened, or do a challenge battle, you'd then have to walk back towards the chapters you were doing. And I still kind of like it, though, because I like how it gets you more involved with the world than the automatically panning and focusing map that this has. So basically, Lilith is able to create a bunch of stuff in this realm using Dragon Vein energy. We'll get into that more later. Probably in our next part. I don't think we'll get that far in this part. I'm kind of just hoping to get to or through chapter 5 and probably cut it just before the choice. But I said which path I would be taking in the first episode, and I think I already mentioned it, but we'll be taking the Birthright run of this. Yeah, I know I've mentioned it, but so we'll be doing Birthright. No real reason to anxiously wait at the Branch of Fate screen, wondering which one I'll choose. I've said that from the beginning, just because that's the route that gets randomized with the version of the game that I have. Because I only have a physical cartridge of Birthright, and the other two routes are downloaded as DLC, I can only randomize the Birthright run. So, unfortunately, until I get a Conquest cartridge, I can't do a Conquest randomizer. Sorry about that. But it's still an option. It's not really that difficult to get a cartridge of Conquest, so if you guys want me to do a randomized Conquest run after we're done with this randomized Birthright run, I'd be happy to. I'd actually look forward to it, although I certainly hope I get lucky with it, otherwise I might not be able to make it through the early game, because Conquest is a lot more brutal. So basically, we warp back into reality in the exact same place we were, and Felicia hits us over the head with a mace. We should probably be dead at this point, actually, but because story, we're not. So let's just save our game and continue on. Ooh, I've already spent a lot of time on this. Okay, so I think I'll have to see how long the chapter has taken up until, or how long everything has taken at the end of this chapter. I might just not do chapter 5 yet and save that for the next part, because I don't want to make like super massive hour-long videos, because that's a bit inhibiting. The first one I made super long because I was trying to include as much of the early game as possible, but I'm actually going to go quickly through this to try to save time. But I'll quickly give a synopsis of what happens, pretty much. So basically, Felicia is allied with Hoshido, thought we were just some random Norian, hit us over the head, captured us, realized who we were, and now has Kaden, who is replacing Kaze in this run, because randomizer, take us back to Hoshido, where we will meet our mother, well, actually, yeah, Mikoto is your mother, never mind, and some of our siblings, and then we will have to rush out immediately to go meet the rest of them. But I'm just going to scroll through this part here because it's... Wow, that animation was not correct at all. I imagine that's likely because of how the randomizer's models don't always match up perfectly. Is that something on my screen? Oh, yeah, it is. Here, sorry. Just...
Oh.
What?
Hey, that's
What
not
class
nice.
is he? Is that a villager?
This is gonna...
Sorry, it's just the first time I'm taking a close look at Caden's model, which at the moment is the only way to tell his class, at least until we get into this upcoming chapter. And I have no clue what class he is just by that model. Maybe he's... I feel like he's either an apothecary or a villager. I don't know if it can randomize to villager, though. I suppose I'll find out soon enough. Oh, so this game sets up pretty strongly that Hoshido is very bountiful and Nor is very barren. What? What class is Ike?
Stay with me.
Is that a Wyvern Lord class? Because it looks like it to me a bit. Maybe... No, I don't think that's Master Ninja. Here, is that in focus on your... Yeah. I feel like that's Wyvern Lord, but I don't know. We'll find out later.
I owe you.
Unfortunately not very soon, because we don't get to see his actual class's sprite on the map until we get past where he's shown as an ally. And so this is Mikoto. I'm not really going to say that much about her, besides the fact that she's the player character's mother, is overall a nice character in person, or is a very nice person, and will have very little significance to the story. Well, okay, it kind of sets into motion some of what happens later, but it's very insignificant for, like, the overall... Well, okay, I guess you can't say it's... Sorry, I got just... Mikoto is interesting in that we don't really see very much of her. So, based on that alone, it would seem like she doesn't have a very big plot importance, but she basically creates a magical barrier around Hoshido, that's basically the writer's convenient way of preventing an all-out war and forcing the choice before you get the chance to see both sides. So there's that, and also she's got some importance in Revelations, but we won't be getting into that yet, because this is Birthright. We don't need to concern ourselves with that just yet. But yeah. And of course she also causes a lot of the main conflict. Well, no, she doesn't cause it, actually. It's just... we'll see in probably the next part. I might still include it in this part. Maybe I'll show the opening cutscene and cut before I actually go through the chapter. Just because, I don't want to spend too much time on each part. Just so that it's easier to watch. So yeah, basically they're talking, trying to... Oh, sorry. Probably should have said this in my synopsis. I think I mentioned this earlier at some point, but the siblings from Nor are actually your adopted siblings. The siblings from Hoshido are supposedly your blood siblings. And for effects and purposes, they are, but that gets into more spoilers that I will not explain. They are and they aren't, but I won't explain why here, because that's better saved for if we wind up marrying one of them, which I doubt we will. I haven't really thought through my support trees yet. I've been more focused on just doing the Let's Play and letting what happened happen. So maybe I won't even try that much for different things. Okay, this is where we find out who replaces Honoka and... Oh, that's right, we already saw. Setsuna and Lucina are replacing Sakura and Honoka. So basically now we're hearing that they're in trouble getting attacked by Faceless, which are...
I say when it ends.
Basically monsters that Nor sends at Hoshido because the barrier prevents anything else from attacking. The audio line, I say where it ends, is actually kind of appropriate here because, Sakura, in this instance, or Lucina, normally Sakura, has sprained her ankle and is unable to walk quickly. So their attempt to flee is kind of just dead-ended. Is he a villager? Hey, Caden is a villager, and he has his, he has all his regular skills that he would ordinarily. But, oh my god, his stats are high. Here, I'm gonna But yeah, so this is Caden's stats. This is Corrin's stats. He beats us in just about, if not all, stats. Well, okay, our magic is significantly higher, but that's necessary because of reasons we'll see. Again, probably in the next part, but I don't know. Ooh. Plus 20% to the trigger rate of all units' luck-based skills. That's good, because her other skills are pretty garbage at the moment. She doesn't have any regular skills, and is kind of weak at the moment. Oh, but she will be getting a goddess icon here, which is valuable. So we'll get a goddess icon. Let's just trigger danger areas. So let's have Corrin go over here. Caden go up this way. Trade and give one of the oh, sorry, didn't realize my screen wasn't back into position. Sorry about that. We'll just give Corrin one of the vulneraries and just start playing and hope that Ike here doesn't steal all our kills. This is still largely a point in the game where you want to be feeding Corrin a lot of kills so that Corrin gets strong and you don't have to focus on him as much later. But it's not that significant at the moment because we've got Caden, who's also very strong. But what I want to do now is see how much EXP he gets. Because sometimes with these randomized characters, their EXP growths are completely wonky. So, like, they'll barely get any EXP upon killing a unit, so even if their base stats upon recruitment are very strong, they could end up being very weak overall because their EXP growths are so bad that they can't get levels in early game. Oh wow, we get an 8% crit to get a kill we already had. That's overkill. And it's not that much EXP for Corrin, but the Faceless are pretty weak, so they wouldn't be giving us much EXP anyway. Much of the EXP is gained in the first couple chapters. Huh. Okay, we've taken a bit of damage here, but I'm not really concerned about us dying. So let's just go do this, because now we can switch to Felicia and have Caden go here, so that we can get attacked. But yeah, we obliterate this Faceless. We take 0 damage when attacked, and upon landing a hit, we do most of its health in one attack. Ah, no. Darn it. Only 1 EXP for that. That's what I meant when I said some EXP growths are really wonky. So, as strong as Caden is now, unfortunately he's going to be pretty unusable for most of the early game. Well, no, he'll be pretty usable early game, he'll just be weak late game, because he won't be gaining EXP very well. So even though his base stats are really, really powerful right now, and he's very strong, he won't be very good later on, which is why I'm going to try to avoid using him. Oh, this isn't good. So the downside of using the Javelin in this game is... What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I unfortunately can't rewind it, but I did not see that Javelin animation correctly at all. It looked like she sort of waved it and it shot an ice blast at the guy? I don't know. But now Ike is going to do what he does best and steal all our EXP. That's pretty much what he does in Radiant Dawn, or in Path of Radiance 2, but at least in Path of Radiance he's the main character, so I don't mind giving him all the kills. So let's just, I guess let's have Corrin use the Vulnerary. But we definitely want Felicia to use it, because she just took most of her health and damage. So we'll drink that Vulnerary, which will heal us back up to full. And then we can continue watching Setsuna absolutely destroy monsters. Because she's taking no damage at the moment. But what we do need to do is get over there before the Faceless trying to cross the mountains to get to Lucina manage to. Because that one in the upper left there, if we're not careful, we'll eventually reach and kill Sakura. Or, well, Lucina in our run. Normally Sakura. But what we can do is have us go in like this. Ooh, I'm sorry. Just trying. My setup is very weird here. Maybe I'll include like an image at the beginning or end. But I have to be careful with how I move the system, and can't really move it at all in order to keep the screen recording working. But yeah, we're at 25 minutes. The other portion of this video was already long. I'm thinking we're going to cut it off at the end of this chapter. So, Ike is just going to continue stealing all of our EXP. Because apparently he doesn't understand that at the moment EXP isn't valuable to him because he's an allied character and not gaining any EXP permanently anyway. So we're just going to fight this Faceless here. We're going to take a bit of damage, but we get our shield gauge charged, and I doubt we'll be killed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Because these three cannot attack us, because they're up here on the mountain, which inhibits their movement a lot. So now we just need to get over there to save Sakura. Well, Lucina. Sorry, I'm not used to playing randomizers very much. Oh, but we will get the EXP from this one. I thought Ike would take it. Okay, good. We hit both attacks. 10% chance on either of those attacks that we missed and then didn't get the kill, which then wouldn't give us as much EXP.
You'll be alright.
Okay, not a great growth, but it gives us extra magic, which we'll need next chapter. Well, not next chapter, but starting after the next chapter. Okay, so I don't think we'll be able to stop them from attacking Lucina outright, but Lucina doesn't die in one hit anyway, so we'll be fine. It doesn't matter if she takes an attack, it matters if she dies. And I don't think it even game overs if she dies. Here, let's see, nope, this is bad. Very, very bad. Because at the moment we cannot reach Sakura. So, let's just talk to both of them. They're basically just saying, yeah, we're fine, thanks for coming to help save us. Setsuna answers a bit pointedly, but then catches on that it's us, and gives us an item upon this realization. And so I'm really hoping that, Ike will actually take this kill here. Because if not, I'm not sure we'll be able to get this kill on our next turn. Oh, hey! I forgot this part. If you have Korin go, or if you have a wounded character go near, Lucina, or Sakura as it normally is, she'll heal you for free. Which is good. Because we need more health. Actually, maybe it's a good thing I used that vulnerary almost by accident earlier, because if I hadn't, it would have probably left us screwed. Since we would have had like 1 health left besides that. Okay, so we actually don't want to trigger this Dragon Bane here at all. Like, because if we do, it works, but it's not what we want to do at all. Because then we make it so that all 3 of them can attack us, instead of just letting them come in and attack us one by one. So let's have us set up like this. No, let's just have Felicia here to get the passive support bonus. Oh, come on, I wanted Kaiden's support attack. Oh well. Either way, we'll get this kill.
How'd you do that?
So, that's more EXP for us. I don't think the next monster will attack us just yet, so we can go up. We can have Kaiden go here. And we can have... let's have Felicia stand off to the side this time, just so that we get the stronger attack from Kaiden. Yeah, so we're not in trouble just yet, but I think I'm going to trade the Vulnerary over to Korin and take it. I think I'm going to go pair up like this, have Korin go here, trade to get this Vulnerary, and then heal. So that'll end our turn. I can have Kaiden move here to kind of go along with them. Alright. So then the boss will attack us. Oh, they missed. That's good. It also kind of means that the Vulnerary use was pointless, but we'll ignore that. But now I think I'm going to give the EXP to Felicia. I haven't seen how her EXP growth is. I hope it's good. I'd like one of my 2 beginning units to be viable. Okay, so we got that kill. That's good. I would have been very annoyed if I missed that. Okay, looks like our EXP growth is more or less normal. I think. So then I'm probably going to skip through this cutscene pretty much. I think Lucina is a Kitsune. That'll be fun to have. We'll deal with that later, though. So basically, to sum it up, they all just said that Nor attacked us with these faceless and are causing us problems. And then, of course, it was the necessary welcome back. You're with us now. You'll be safe. Blah blah blah. And so now Mikoto's showing us our old room from when we were young, because we were we spent some of our early childhood here in Castle Shirasagi, Hoshido's capital. Oh, and now we get to meet whoever gets randomized in place of Azura. I just hope they'll be viable. Because... what? Oh, because it's a randomizer, the voice line gets switched, but it has nothing to switch to. Okay. So, what a beautiful song of nothingness. I'll just let this cutscene play, because Azura's cutscenes are great. So something I've never really considered is, why is she using her power here? Like, we'll find out later that Azura's pendant has a lot of powers, but why? Is that? That'll be fun. Sorry, just gonna try to shift here for a moment. Oh, I am so sorry. It appears my camera work is a lot worse this time around than it was last week, but whatever. Hopefully by next week we won't need it. So, it appears Oboro has been randomized in place of Azura, and is actually a Noran princess class, which means that's 3 total. Not counting Kana, but Kana... I'm honestly not even sure I'll get Kana in this run. I don't know, just might not be that useful.
Sorry.
So basically they introduce each other, they have a conversation about Azura's background, which is, Azura was basically, born in Nor, in theory, and raised in Hoshido. And I say in theory because story spoilers that I won't go into here, for Revelations. So they talk a bit, they're like, Korin's basically like, oh, Mikoto's being so nice, but at the same time I don't really have any connection here at the moment, because all of Korin's life, for the most part, has been spent in Nor. And Azura's like, yeah, that's pretty much... well, Oboro in this run. Oboro's like, yeah, that's pretty much how I'd feel if I were to go back to Nor. And so now they're just basically getting ready for a nice slice of life in the world of Fire Emblem. But that will not come, because this is indeed Fire Emblem, and a lot of stuff is about to happen. But that will all have to be saved until next time. So for now, I'm going to leave this video here. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment, let me know what you thought. Let me know what I should try next. Let me know if you liked how I was doing the cutscenes. I went through some of the later ones more quickly, just trying to shave off some of the time on these videos, because the first one was pretty long, and I feel like this one is going to be pretty long as well. So let me know what you think of my approach to this, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good day.